The Chicago Bears just made a huge signing that's going to greatly impact this defensive line. We've brought in quite a few undrafted free agents, but I want to talk about Keith Randolph Jr. out of Illinois. I really want to highlight this guy. I think he's going to make this team as a very solid backup and depth at defensive tackle. That's vitally important right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got some starter snaps as the year progresses. So let's look at a couple reasons this undrafted free agent is an important signing. I think one reason we need to take notice is simply the fact that he plays defensive tackle, right? And we didn't really do anything in the offseason to bolster that spot on the roster. Simple, right? Plus, he needs a bit more development since he didn't even play football until his junior year of high school. But I trust this staff. I trust them to recognize talent. There's always a chance they manage to unearth a diamond in the rough here. He racked up tackles at Illinois. He earned all Big Ten third team honors, all conference honorable mention. That's a coach's honor in 2023. He was the team captain for the Fighting Illini, and he capped his final season in college with not really impressive stats, 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss in 10 games. But the year before that, he picked up 4.5 sacks, 13 tackles for a loss. Now we're talking. And given his collegiate production, his size, his skills, I think reeling in Randolph, it's a worthwhile bet for the Bears to make, and it could pay off big time. It could pay off well in the developmental process. He could become more of just a backup piece. So let's kind of look at where the D-line is right now. We've got Montez Sweat on the left side, Andrew Billings at nose, Gervon Dexter at defensive tackle, our 3 technique, DeMarcus Walker, he's on the right end. And then we've got like a series of backups highlighted, I would say, by Austin Booker, Zach Pickens. We're trying to develop him, and Keith Randolph. Just being on the team right now, I think he's already slotted into a presumed person that's going to make this team. And under new defensive coordinator Eric Washington, this position will have a major point of emphasis. The Bears trading back in the 2024 NFL draft to select Austin Booker. That proves that they aren't ignoring the defense. It's not all offense. I just think Booker coming in, he'll eventually replace Walker in the starting lineup on the right end, and the lack of moves on the interior, that paves the way for Keith Randolph to make this roster. And the unit now looks incredibly strong from top to bottom. I mean, it's starting to round out to be a really solid unit. There might still be some more moves made in the defensive line during the free agent market. What makes it solid from top to bottom? It's depth, right? That's obvious. And this is where Randolph fits in perfectly. There's been some intriguing signings. Western Kentucky quarterback Austin Reed. That's fun to talk about, but this signing was absolutely needed. And I think it's going to benefit us. Many people wanted to draft a top-rated defensive tackle in draft, right? His teammate Newton, he was a popular choice. He went in the second round to Washington. Poles had to focus on the offense this year, right? After major defensive overhauls last year, it paid so many dividends. And we've got Justin Jones, who is no longer here. But let's be honest, Justin Jones, he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire when he was here. So we got to move on. And Randolph, he measures 6'5". I'm going to open up this story on yardbarker.com. Just a great source. I always want to give credit. He measures 6'5". He weighs 296 pounds. 33-inch arm length, 81-inch wingspan, great size, great length for his position. But while he doesn't do anything that will wow you, the guy just gets the job done. He's a lunch pail guy, nothing flashy. We need these guys to fill out this line. And there's a story here on Yard Barker I'd like to quote from this. Look, he consistently gets low. He has leverage to rack up tackles. Randolph gets his arms up well to utilize his length. He has good strength as well, so he can use his arms to keep offensive linemen at bay. That strength, that also makes it difficult to move him. So let's look at this. He's a solid trench guy. He's a great asset against the run. He just holds the line. His pass rush, it isn't super toolsy, I'd say, but he can get the job done there too. He's just not flashy. And this is the further quote from the story. As a slanting rusher, Randolph, he does a good job of making himself skinny so he can slip into gaps. Additionally, a great arm over move that allows him to move around pass blockers. So, okay, game performance. In 10 games in 2023, Randolph, he had 49 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks, and a pass breakup. Honorable mention, all Big Ten with that. He's not a sack artist, as I said. He's just going to be a really good run blocker. He has impressive upper body strength, and his ability to use his long arms, as you know, that's something Poles really values. That is going to help him get up and bat down a ton of balls, and that's another benefit of his length. So what are the issues with him? I'd say with Newton playing next to him, this could be a case of a really good player getting overshadowed, going unnoticed. Not that we're looking at the new Warren Sapp, but he very well might be quite a bit better than teams are noticing. The Bears, we're going to find out. He was a legit force in Illinois. He had 45 tackles in just 9 games last season. The year before. And the year before that, he had 13 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. That was right behind Newton. And there's some talk of Randolph coming back for one more season. He got a big NIL package there waiting for him. But the injury risk, he figured, I think that might have proven too much to overcome. And the issue is exactly what I've been saying. He's not flashy. He just kind of blends in. I mean, he's not coming here to start. He just needs to provide meaningful rotational snaps. Just do your job. He can provide breathers for Dexter. He can hold it down well while he's doing it. And he's just going to keep the guy fresh. And there was an expectation that Randolph, he'd be drafted on day 3 in round 6 or 7. But 257 picks came and went. Randolph's name wasn't getting called. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how head coach Matt Eberflus, defensive coordinator Eric Washington's expertise is in coaching the defensive line. You guys know that. He has a huge history of success. I think he's the best in the league as far as defensive line coaches. We've got defensive line coach Travis Smith, assistant defensive line coach Brian Bing. They're going to work to get the most out of Randolph moving forward. And I want to say these guys' names because this defensive staff is just absolutely top notch. They deserve props. And under Eric Washington, they're just going to wring every single drop of production from this defensive line, and I'm totally here for it. So we're looking at this draft class, this huge emphasis on offense with Caleb, of course, with Odunze. We bring in all of this offensive talent with Swift, with Keenan Allen, with help on the offensive line, and every single guy that we brought in for the offensive line has rotational prowess. They're able to play every position up and down the line, and that is absolutely huge. Defense, we need to do the same thing. We have these frontline starters in the secondary, but outside of Montez Sweat and Gervon Dexter, we've got a ton of wiggle room. And if we bring in these undrafted free agents like Chroma, whose athleticism and RAS score is absolutely off the charts. We bring guys in like Randolph, who just coming in cold can be a backup, can be a credible guy to come in and hold the line when our stars are taking a breather. We might have something absolutely perfect here. I can't wait to see what happens. And you guys let me know about Randolph. It's great. We're going to have several undrafted free agents make this team. And camp is going to be fun. We actually have some interesting stories to keep track of. Bear down, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.